what is the quantity to be discharged. But the question is, what about the lever, the trimming lever? How can we get the trimming lever? To answer this question, we have to go back to the basics of the different. In one of those parameters, it says that this is the trimming fulcrum or the trimming pivot point for trim. Anybody remembers what is that position?
Center of flotation.
Center of flotation, absolutely. So therefore, now trimming moments or longitudinal moments दोनों बराबर ही है. Will be about center of flotation. Will be about center of flotation. Pehla question, why center of flotation? Because by definition, it is the centroid of the water plane area, meaning that if there is a change of trim, it will occur at that position. Therefore, we can do a very rough calculations. Next question is, agar SI hai, then why is it estimated? Why is it not accurate? Anybody wants to answer that question? Why is it estimated? Why is it not accurate?
क्योंकि area of water plane constant अब लेके नहीं चल रहे सर.
Area of the water plane constant लेके चल रहे हैं. We are taking the area of the water plane or the position of the center of rotation.
Shape of the vessel.
Yeah, we are not accounting for that. Very good. So why it is estimated? The reason for that is that we are assuming the center of flotation to be constant through the range of drafts. You know, we are loading, discharging through the range of drafts. And for this reason, the calculation becomes estimated only. It is not accurate. If you do the accurate calculations, it will, using the total trim formula, we will get the best results. Why? Because we are calculating each and every parameter for that particular given draft. But let us say we want to do some quick calculations. Either I'm not having the hydrostatic tables right at hand, or some, for whatever reasons, I just want to do a quick calculation. I can use this method. And this is roughly, it's okay. It's not, for calculating the final values or commercial values. But let us say you want to tell the shore people that, okay, I want to load maybe 100 tons in number one hold and 200 tons in. So that 100 and 200 is fair enough. That's what it is. So finally, kitna aayega, that will be a different issue again. So similarly, let us say as a chief officer or as an officer on watch on tanker, you want to load. There is some kilo. You want to come to a 2-meter trim, and then you say that, okay, let us discharge so many tons from this particular tank, and we will come to that. So for that purpose, it is okay. Estimated calculation, round figure calculations, it's fine. Calculations. Okay, सबसे पहली बात तो ये है कि बट जहाज में तो हाइड्रोस्टैटिक टेबल्स होता है, ये करके हमें क्या फायदा है? Before we start, on the ship having hydrostatic tables, then why do we need to study this? The basic reason is that whatever you are studying here, obviously you are able to use it practically for very rough calculations on the ship. But more importantly, they are used for calculations for grounding and dry docking at the advanced level. When you come back for your chief mates, in case of grounding, in case of dry docking, what will be the change in drafts? And where we use this, in spite of having hydrostatic tables, because it may not be very easy to calculate by the hydrostatic tables ki kitna exactly hone wala hai. So we need to do this, and then we can match it up with the hydrostatic tables. So this concept, advanced calculations, right? We are only doing the initial part just for operational purpose, and this thing here, you can call it like an introduction to those calculations, because ये वाला जो हम लोग अभी करेंगे, this will not be taught to you again in chief mates. In chief mates, will directly dive into the advanced problems, assuming that you know how to do these calculations. Okay, this is the scenario. Are we okay? Anything you want to ask? No? Okay. So again, we will try to put down our calculations into 5 or 6 steps at the most, maybe 5 steps we can make it. So let's start one by one. Okay, go ahead. Very quickly, let me just try to show you what we are talking about here. Let us say this is the center of rotation. Now, check the trimming lever. Trimming lever means distance of the weight from the center of rotation. And this, we are going to call it as DCF. Remember, this is the third D now coming into your numerical. So we started with a D with the arrow up, arrow down, that is for the vertical calculation and to find the GM and kg. Then we use the transverse D. DCL with the arrow sideways, which we use to calculate listing arm. Now this is the third one. So how do I differentiate? So how I will differentiate is I will call it as the D from the center of rotation. You can use DCOF. You can use DCOF. ये भी चलेगा, no problem. Or you can just use DCF. Center of rotation say what is the distance. Now, obviously, the distance will be either forward or it is going to be aft. The distance. Let us say, if I put it here, arrow down means I'm going to load some cargo. In that case, my DCF will be from there to there. DCF will be from there to there. I'm going to load forward of the center of rotation, then DCF will be from there to wherever. So let us say I want to load here, then this becomes my DCF in that case. Now, this is an algebraic moment. You understand what is algebraic moment? Algebraic moment means that is the moment going to rotate the ship clockwise or anti-clockwise? Because end of the day, the ship is going to rotate. Center of flotation being the pivot point, the ship will rotate in the clockwise. Then we go, depending on which side you want to put the क्या कहते हैं forward. So in this case, इसको निकाल देते हैं. What will be the direction of rotation in this case? If I am going to load aft of the center of rotation, what will be the direction? Anti-clockwise. So the ship is going to rotate in this way. So the trim is going to increase or decrease? Trim is going to increase. Therefore, we will use this as plus. We will use this as plus. So aft of center of rotation, DCF will be plus. Any doubts on this?
सर ये आफ्टर समझ नहीं आया.
Yes, sir.
सेंटर ऑफ रोटेशन के पीछे अगर हम लोड करते हैं, सो हाउ द शिप इज गोइंग टू रोटेट, यानी कि ट्रिम किस तरफ जाएगा. लेट अस से you are working on, so we want to load a number 5 cargo tank, right? Number 5 cargo tank, that will be definitely aft of the center of rotation. Are you going to increase the trim by stern, or it will increase the trim by head?
By
stern, right? So therefore, you see, what is the purpose of a moment? The purpose of a moment is to rotate. Purpose of a moment is to rotate. So when we rotate, we need a pivot point. That pivot point, we are calling it as the center of rotation. Now, what rotation is taking place here is that the bow is going to come up, the stern is going to go down. So we are increasing the trim. So if you are going to increase the trim, then we are calling that as a positive distance or a positive moment. And therefore, to get that positive movement, come up with a DCF which is positive. So therefore, we are calling the position aft of the aft of the center of rotation as positive. Similarly, if I load forward, that DCF will be, in this case, it will be here. And because I'm loading here, how is my ship going to rotate now? Clockwise. So ये इस तरह से जाएगा. Now, because it is going to rotate in this way, what is happening to my trim?
Decreasing, sir.
Decreasing. So we will call this as, we will call minus. Once we do some question, you will be able to understand much more. But this is what is the basic calculation that will be required.
सर जैसे सर अगर फॉरवर्ड और सर पीछे कोई वेट लोड किया तो सर जैसे पीछे ड्राफ्ट हो जाएगा तो सर आगे तो 7 हो गया ना सर, मतलब तो मोर और लेस कांस्टेंट ही रही ना सर, आगे कम हो गया और पीछे बढ़ गया.
ऐसे कैसे? ट्रिम कांस्टेंट कैसे हो गया? आप बोले 8 और 11 ड्राफ्ट है, यू आर लोडिंग समथिंग आफ्ट, पीछे 12 हो गया, आगे 7 हो गया, तो ट्रिम कितना?
सॉरी सर बढ़ जाएगा.
Okay, let us clarify this. Have you noted down this part? Can I go to the can I clear the board or go to another board?
Yes, sir.
So 1 second, sir. 1 second.
So the top part is the basics. Then we come to the step one. The step one, you must have a sketch. Remember, ये sketch के बगैर plus minus decide करना बहुत मुश्किल है. So sketch बहुत जरूरी है.
एक बार ये
Okay,
माइनस वाला पार्ट समझा दिए सर, आगे वाला.
Yeah, आगे में what is happening is that we are trying to load in this particular case, we are trying to load something forward of the center of rotation. So therefore, my weight is acting downwards. And with this weight acting downwards, my moment will be trying to move the ship or rotate the ship in a clockwise direction. Therefore, the bow goes down and the stern goes up. If the bow goes down, stern goes. The effect is negative. We are calling, or we will be using this distance as negative distance. This will help me in my algebra calculation of the moments. You will find very otherwise the if I don't assign the sign, I will need to make some. मुझे सोच के चलना पड़ेगा कि ये ऐसा होगा वैसा होगा and all that. That is another way of doing it, but it is better to be mathematical. We make less mistakes. Okay, we come to step 2. So step 2 will be calculation of trimming moments. What is trimming moment in this case? Weight W into D. That is the moment.
DCF.
So W into DCF. This is the trimming moment. W into DCF. This is the trimming moment. अभी एक छोटा सा टेबल बनाएंगे. Just have a look. ये प्लस माइनस लेने का फायदा क्या है? Just have a look. Make operation. Then with let us say loading. When we are loading, then weight का sign क्या हो जाता है? When we are loading, what is the sign of the weight? Plus W दे सकते हैं? Okay. Now, if this weight plus W लिया, then we have DCF यानी कि position forward of center of rotation. So DCF का value will be forward minus DCF. अब जब हम trimming moment निकालेंगे, what will be the value?
Minus WDCF.
Minus W into DCF. Very good. So minus W into DCF. Now, एक चीज तो हमें सब we know by now what is the trim or change of trim. We can calculate.
Sir, minus W into DCF upon displacement plus weight.
ट्रिम में थोड़ी ना डिस्प्लेसमेंट लगाते हैं. Trim will be equal to
LBP sir.
नहीं. What is the unit conversion for trim? What is the unit conversion from for number 7 में denominator में क्या आता
सर
है?
MCTC into 100.
MCTC into
into
100.
100. So exactly the same thing. So change of trim, and we will call this as TC now. We are not going to call it as T anymore. We will call this as TC now. 200. So trimming moment अगर minus W into DCF आ गया, so then what will be the change of trim?
Sir, minus W into DCF upon MCTC into 100.
So can I say minus the TC value will come in minus?
Yes, sir.
तो इन है कि नहीं?
हाँ सर, वो माइनस कैसे आता है?
माइनस कैसे आता है? अब देखो, if I do the same thing for the forward, plus W will be plus W into DCF. Therefore, my change of trim will be plus TC.
सर ये आफ्ट के लिए होगा ना सर?
ये yeah, aft के लिए होगा ना?
Yes, sir.
So what we can do is position of इसको actually we can change it to position of COF. यहाँ पे we will call it aft of COF. Same story we can apply for discharging. Hit का value कैसे आता है?
Sir,
Negative.
Negative. Let us start with which side you want, forward or aft? कौन सा करेंगे?
Forward.
Forward. So minus DCF.
सर ये ना क्रोम के साथ थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, तो मैं जरा एक बार लीव करके दोबारा आ सकता हूँ?
Yeah, go ahead. What is happening here?
सर ये भी सर जैसे इसमें आपने माइनस लगाया है, तो प्रैक्टिकली देखें तो अगर आगे से वेट हटाएंगे मतलब डिस्चार्ज करेंगे तो ट्रिम बढ़ेगी, तो पॉजिटिव ही आना चाहिए ना सर ये?
तो आया तो पॉजिटिव, माइनस इंटू माइनस विल कम प्लस.
प्लस, ठीक है सर.
One, and that is going to give me an equal to, and change of trim, that is TC, comes just by dividing. So therefore I can get a sign for TC directly. I will get a plus TC. We can say it is just the concept of applying the trimming moment, and by doing that, what we have done, trimming moments, we will add up all the trimming moments. So change of trim, we can call it, use the sigma sign here. Sigma matlab sum of, sum of trimming moments, sum of the trimming moments, and divided by M.
तो वहाँ पे केजी आता था और लॉन्गिट्यूडनल मोमेंट में एलसीजी आता था और ट्रांसवर्स मोमेंट में लिस्टिंग आता था, तो सर यहाँ पे उसकी जरूरत नहीं होती सर? जैसे
that is what, yeah, you want to call this as longitudinal moment, we can call this as longitudinal moment. Now one thing we remember is that longitudinal moment in the previous case with reference point as the aft perpendicular, that was my axis, or that was my axis about which I was taking the different moments. Now in this particular scenario, we are
center of rotation.
Yeah, we taking the, I am taking the moments. That is what we are doing. So you want to call it trimming moment, fine. You want to call it longitudinal moment, it's still fine, no problem.
सर ये जो ये वाला तो हम लोग नहीं यूज करेंगे ना सर?
यही तो यूज करेंगे।
तो सर एनसीटीसी का वैल्यू तो हमको हाइड्रोस्टैटिक टेबल से मिलता है।
नहीं, this will be given to you.
सर एक बार लास्ट वाली स्लाइड दिखा दीजिए।
सर यहाँ पे अपने डायग्राम में ना फॉरवर्ड और आफ्ट का शायद चेंज कर दिया।
कहाँ पे?
ये जो आपने सर डायग्राम बनाया ना, तो ये फॉरवर्ड वाला आफ्ट होगा, आफ्ट वाला फॉरवर्ड होगा ना?
हाँ, we can do that, but वो प्लस और माइनस, फिर प्लस और माइनस इधर उधर हो जाएंगे। I have to change the plus or minus इधर उधर। The blue part is forward and the aft part is aft. क्या कहते हैं? Red part is aft. The red is aft and blue part is forward. Now I'm still not able to get you. What was the question again?
सर मैं बोल रहा था कि आपने आफ्ट पार्ट में ना फॉरवर्ड ऑफ COF लिखा है और फॉरवर्ड में लिखा है आफ्ट ऑफ COF।
Part में no, this is a separate line, भाई। This is a separate line on the board.
हाँ, ओके।
सर टेबल एक बार फिर से दिखा दीजिए, टेबल दिखा दीजिए सर।
This part is okay ना? Can I close this one?
यस सर।
Any doubts, any questions regarding this one? Right, so we'll go to the next step, that is step 3.
सर इसमें शिफ्टिंग वाला केस नहीं आएगा?
या शिफ्टिंग वाला केस भी आएगा, क्यों नहीं आएगा? बिल्कुल आएगा। और अगर हम शिफ्टिंग करेंगे तो यू कैन डू इट इन 2 ways। अगर हम शिफ्टिंग करते हैं यू कैन डू इट इन 2 ways। एक है कि वी विल डिस्चार्ज फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट पोजीशन एंड पुट इट इन द सेकंड पोजीशन। I can do it in 2 ways, right? Let us say I'm shifting from somewhere to somewhere. So in case I'm doing shifting, then I can either discharge from one position, and then this is the first step is discharging, second step is loading. That's what we used to do previously also. But कई जगह कई समय ऐसा होता है कि instead of saying this, what they will give in the question is, let us say you are shifting a weight of 100 tons by a distance of so many meters. उसने बोल दिया 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters, 40 meters. Now, when the distance is given, then I really don't need to weight में plus minus डालने की जरूरत नहीं है कि नहीं? Weight will remain neutral, यानी कि neutral means it will always remain plus. You get the point?
Yes sir.
Now, एक चीज बचता है, DCF का साइन क्या होगा? DCF का साइन बिल्कुल ऐसे ही होगा जैसे हम यहां पे लिए हैं। If the shifting direction is forward, minus shifting direction is aft, plus.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so if you want, you can make a note here, यहाँ पे, somewhere on the side or at the bottom, you can make a note there. कि for shifting, DCF is plus for shifting aft and DCF is minus for shifting forward. You can just make a small note on the side. We'll have some questions you will find that they are asking about shifting.
जैसे हिंडशिप में तो सर हमें एमसीटीसी मिल जाता है ना सर, तो मतलब ये सारे क्वेश्चन वहां के लिए एप्लीकेबल नहीं है ना?
No, this we are not going to use for MVHF. No.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because we are not doing the calculation of total trim. And MCTC will also be constant throughout the range of drafts. We are not going to calculate any other MCTC. MCTC will be given in the question. Right, so step 3 will be calculation of TAC, and that is trim aft and trim forward. So what is the calculation of trim aft? Or let us call it as trim change aft.
सर ऐसे क्वेश्चन में जो एमसीटीसी दिया रहता है वो जनरली सी वाटर के रिस्पेक्ट में ही रहता है ना, अगर डेंसिटी अलग हुई तो चेंज करना हो?
No, that is not part of your syllabus right now.
ओके सर.
This type of questions, it will be all in the same density only.
Sir, T upon LBP into.
Yeah, T जब लेंगे तो now we cannot take the full T. We will have to take which one?
Change of trim.
Yeah,
TC.
TC. TC into
Sir,
LCF.
LCF upon LBP.
LCF upon LBP. बिल्कुल. And for forward, we will just calculate TC minus TAC. That is step 3. Now in step 4, we have to go slightly away from trim calculations and think about it. Ki agar hum, let us say, if I am loading some cargo on the ship, other than trim, what other factor is going to affect my draft?
Change in density.
No. Irrespective of that, let us say I'm in fresh water, let us say I'm in dock water, doesn't matter. Wherever I am.
TPC.
Yeah, Bula?
The displacement and TPC.
Absolutely. Whenever I load some cargo, my mean draft is going to change. Again. So therefore, I will have a change of mean draft. So I can put it here instead of writing mean change. Change of mean draft. No, I will call it as mean change of draft. Mean change of draft, how I can calculate? कैसे करेंगे इसको?
Sir, forward
Plus half divided by 2.
अरे नहीं रे, change of draft. Mean change of draft will be the mean rise or sinkage. How we calculated? ये तो हम लोग का chapter number 5, chapter number 4, TPC calculation. Sum of all the weights. Yeah. Sum of all the weights divided by TPC into 100. Right? Sum of all the weights divided by TPC into 100. If it is plus, then it is sinkage. If it is minus, then it is rise. If it is plus, it is sinkage. If it is minus, it is rise. So mean change of draft, mean rise or sinkage, that is equal to in this way. And that brings us to the last step where we will calculate the drafts now. Remember what all things we need. We need this one. We need this one. These are the changes in drafts, yeah. And we will also need this one. These are the 3 elements that we will need to apply to the given initial drafts to find the final drafts. Kaise? Can I change, guys?
Yes, sir. 1 minute.
Okay, so just highlight karke rakho. These are the 3 components that we will need. We will not use A, or we can say No, just write chota, maybe 1, 2, and 3. These are the 3 components that we need so far, whatever we have calculated. And that's what we are going to do. Alright, time ho gaya. Please make a note quickly, which I will share. So step 5, we are going to do the draft calculation. So final draft calculation. So final draft calculation, we put forward and aft. So initial draft, usually it will be given. Let us call this as F1 and A1. Now, mean change of draft, you have calculated in the step 4. Right? So here I'm going to put plus minus and plus minus, and we are going to call it as sinkage or rise, or maybe plus sinkage minus rise. Or maybe we can use can we call this use some short form like MC or something like that, or change in the mean draft? Yeah, I think we will call it as DMC, change in the mean draft. Right? So here we will use the words then. It will apply to both. Yeah, and plus is good enough, because if it comes minus, it will automatically go to minus. Yeah? So what we know, BMC is equal to weights by TPC into 100. That is what.
यहाँ TPC in centimeters है ना sir?
Yeah, that's why we need in meters. Na? All of these are going to be in meters. All of these are going to be in meters. Next is change of draft. Due to change of trim. So आगे में we have TFC, and at the aft I have TAC. What remains is the sign. Sign कैसे decide करेंगे? Now, how to decide the sign? This will give me, okay, we'll just come to this one here, final. And I can get A2, and sorry, F2 and A2. The question is, what will be the sign for TFC and TAC? What will be the sign? Sign कैसे होगा? To understand the sign, just use your concept of TA and TF, how it is applied to the hydrostatic draft to get the forward draft or the aft draft. So how do we apply TF to the hydrostatic draft to get the forward draft? Bolo.
ऐड करके
Hydrostatic draft में do I add TF to get the forward draft?
नहीं सर, सब्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं।
और सब
Any part is missing?